Hello, this is Dilma da Silva, and I'm going to do an example of input validation. We are going to write a program that reads a number, indicating how many numbers we want to read, then reads this list of a number in a vector, and we validated the input. So the first version that I have written here, it does no input validation. So we are just reading the number of elements in the array that we want to read, and then the list of numbers. That's all we are doing. So we can go here and look at it. Okay, sorry, I did the wrong cut and paste. I'll fix that quickly. Okay, so here we can run. And with number of elements in the array 3, list the number 0 minus 0.4 minus 1, and it prints the numbers direct. If I run again now, and by mistake, instead of typing 10, I typed L0. So this is not 10, it's L0. It's a mistake I made. It just doesn't read because L is not a number, and then it just assume it read 0 and doesn't do anything. So let's do now input validation, and so I'm going to go to my second version here. This is version 2. We have input in validation, but I made a mistake to show you my mistake. So look, I am doing what we did before here. I'm reading the number of elements. And when I invoke cin good, I mean, did it really succeeded in reading what we asked it to read? Was an integer. So while it's good, it's okay. If I read this, it was an integer, good is true, it doesn't do anything. If it failed, the question return me if this was good will return false, not false is true, so it ends in the loop. It tells invalid input, try again. I prepare to read it. As you have on the slides from Dr. Moore, that means that we call clear. We say ignore a lot of stuff in this stream until you find the end of line, the dash n, which represents the end of line, and read again. So we are trying it, right? So that's what I did in the program. And I didn't do anything about, oh yes, we also validated here the list of numbers. Every time I read a number, I say, did things go okay? Was this good? If not good, then I tell the user, okay, this is not good, try again, right? So that's the program I'm going to execute for you. As I said, I made a mistake. We're going to see it now. So let me execute it. I have the program here. This is the program that we just looked at. I will run it. And oh, look, there is a compilation error. It is indicating that in this line here, there is an error. And this line was the one that says, call the function available in the library to ignore things in the stream that we are using for input, and ignore as many as needed for this kind of stream. And I was saying until you find the dash n. The problem here is that if you look at the slides from Dr. Moore, it is not expecting a string that has that character. It's actually expecting the character. I made a mistake on my typing. So if I go to my version 3 here, let me do it bigger for you. If you look here, the problematic line, I have here the quotes, and now I have the single quotes, but that's the correct thing. Now let's see where we go if we go past the compilation error when I try this. So that's the program that I just showed you that has single quotes instead of double quotes. I run. And now I can run how many elements? 4, list of the elements, 1, minus 1, 0, 4, 0 0.56, so 5, and it read and everything go fine. Right, but go fine. What if I type it wrong? How many elements in the array? And I type 10, but I put L0 instead of L0. And it will go invalid input, try again. Now I put 10, And then it asks me for the numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then everything goes again, okay? Let me do again. Now a smaller list, 4, and it's 1, and then I make a mistake, and then I go. And look, oh, things are not going well here. It seems to be stuck. My program seems to be stuck, giving me an error, asking me to try again, but actually not letting me do anything. So let me try to stop it. But the most importantly, let's try to fix the problem. I have a new version to show you here. My new version, look, the part of the code that is giving trouble was the part, I'm showing you the wrong version first, the part where I was doing read it, and I was saying try again, enter it again, and I say enter that, and enter the rest of the list again, and then I read it. What did I forget? I forget that the stream is not in a good state. If you look what we did here, we say try again, but we prepared, meaning we cleared the indication error with clear, and we told to ignore the rest of the things on the same line. Here's the same thing. What I need to do is to clear, to indicate, okay, we're trying again, so don't indicate in the state as explained by Dr. Moore, don't indicate any bits, and now ignore the rest of the string. Of whatever is on the line. So that's why we say enter that number again and re-enter the whole rest, right? And I added, just for debugging, a message we just read, and then I put this star to before and after what we read. So this program I would like to run with you, and I am going here to say this is the program I want to run. And it is here, look, the code I just showed you. We notice an error on the while, we clear the state to indicate the error because we're trying again, we ignore anything that the user may have typed all the way to when he or she pressed enter, we read, meaning we take from the input, the new input from the user into variable vector v at the position I, and I just, for debugging, I say, hey, I just read this thing, okay? So I'm going to run. How many elements in the array? 4. Enter the list of numbers. I'm going to make a mistake, and then it's telling me I read 1, I read 0. What was happening here? It tried to read the next double. X is not a double, so what it had in that variable, whatever it had before, was 0 because that was we created a vector of n doubles, right? So element of position 1, it's just because we are counting from position 0 as we do in arrays and vectors. Enter it again and re-enter the rest of the list. So instead of X, I wanted 2, and let me re-enter the rest of the list. Then I press return. And then it's telling me I read 2, I read 3, I read 4, and that's what you wrote. And that concludes our example. You will find in eCampus the zip file, meaning, putting all together file with all these versions that I showed you. Thank you. Bye.